Hello friend, it's Tonton, and in today's video we're gonna review Alliance Mobilization. I'm gonna update my guide. Again, that was one of the first video I've made, so you know, it's overdue. Quite a few things changed with the expert and some other thing in the game, so I'll cover it up. But the way I want to make this guide is to help everyone that care to rank. And it will help a bit Air Force as well to manage and how to refresh tasks and things like that. But overall, it's really like how do you rank as an individual player? If you look at us, I'm a bit higher this time around because it's a seasonal event, so I've bought some packs, but I'm doing pretty good with my main, and that's my farm, 13k, and not even really trying with my farm. So overall, I do easily very well because I understand that we don't have like a very competitive alliance when it comes to Alliance Mobilization right now. Yours might be, especially in the early days, in the first 6 months, first year, it tends to be a lot more competitive. But if you look at the leaderboard, it quickly falls into how much points how many points some people make, and some people make very, very little points, and that always surprised me. I never managed to, to be in the top 10 in that event. It's actually quite simple. At the end of the day, so not all the tasks are up, but we'll cover it through. So the way it works with Alliance Mobilization is you take a task and you complete it. It's simple as that. You have many, many tasks, and we will look at that in a sec. So that's the list of tasks. So that's on my Discord. That's something I've made a long time ago. If you want to have a look, join the Discord. The link is in the description. It's to give you an idea of what are the good and bad tasks, and you can use that as an R4 to refresh tasks as well. Overall, gathering, it's okay if you do one before bed, but it's one of that, that they are giving the least points, so I would not do them as an exclusive mission. So the exclusive mission, I might want to cover that now, is like you have 2 of these a day, right? The exclusive mission. I still have 1, and this one was an exclusive mission. I can refresh them. And the first time if I complete a task, one of these, I got 4 of them, 2 on each tile, right? So 1 will be 200% per day, and 3 will be 120. So you get a buff on points. So here you get 20% points plus on the 200% what you get double the points. The way it works, if I take it, of course I can complete it, else I will refresh until I got what I want. These are only for me. Nobody can take them from me. Everything else, everybody else can take them. So you see what we've left. I'm not, I did not do it, so I might have removed some other ones. But that's 90% of your points for free to play, for low spender, it will come from your own missions. These are like for everybody else in a very active alliance. The good ones are very hard to get, and you can make nearly 70, 80, 90% of your points just with that. And that's what I'm doing with my farm. 90% of my points are just from these exclusive missions. So let's go back to the list of missions. So gathering, not so good. Don't do them in exclusive. Do them in regular mission that are shared with everybody before you go to bed when your farmers are about to come back, things like that. But they are very low priority. I would not do the lowest one unless if you are like in your first Alliance Mobilization and you have like level 18 Furnace and that's all you can gather. That's okay. I'm talking about endgame, people that are Furnace 30 and stuff. So gathering is okay. Training troop is the best mission you can do. It's free. It costs nothing, and you can see the one at 120k. So as soon as you are Furnace 30 plus Fire Crystal Edge, that's quite okay to complete. When you are Furnace 30, when you are below Furnace 30, I will consider doing the 30k mission. The 15k, like I would not, to be honest. Maybe the first or the second time you have Alliance Mobilization and you are not very strong and you have T6, you have a T6 troops or whatever. Maybe for a week, but that's gonna get over very quickly, and then you should not consider doing it anymore. You will want to consider to do the 120k power, and we will focus on that today, how to make points with that. That will be very important, and you want to do it at an exclusive mission nearly all the time. That's what I'm doing, 4 of these per day in average, It's probably 3.9 in average because sometimes I'm doing other missions and we'll talk about when. But like that's all, all day I'm refreshing these to get these exclusive missions. Defeat Beast is terrible. It takes you a lot of time and a lot of stamina to complete, and it gives you very little points. So I will never do Defeat Beast. The only exception could be on beast day, if you are killing wheel with auto hunt and you start one like 30 killing, 30 beasts to kill before you go to bed, something like that. But else, I will never do kill beasts. It's taking a mission of you, and that's giving no points. You're not gonna progress. That's one of the biggest mistakes people do, killing beasts as mission. Do the polar terror ones. Do the polar terror ones, right? Especially the 10 polar terror. You can do that by joining other people's rally. And yeah, nothing to do, it costs nothing, and that's 160 points. I would not really do them as exclusive mission where I am in the game, but in the past, when you are Furnace 30, when you are Furnace Fire Crystal 1, 2, and you struggle to do enough of these 120k power of training troop missions, you could do polar terrors, with 120 or 200 once a day or twice a day if you don't really have the time. That could be okay for like, Fire Crystal 1, 2, but then when you start to be Fire Crystal 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you should really focus on doing the 120k mission. And that means some days you will get lucky, you won't have to refresh a lot. Some days I'm very unlucky and I'm spending a lot of time refreshing these. I'm working on the computer, the game is always open for me, so it's a lot easier for me to do. Every 5 minutes I go, I refresh, I go, I refresh. That's very simple. Mythic shard. So the way you look at it, right, because you see different color, like red is bad, yellow is okay-ish, but I would not do it. I'm actually not doing it myself, or on very rare occasions. Green, light green is okay, but dark green is where you want to make your points. And you see dark green is training troops, polar terror, packs if you're spenders, and that's about it. And we'll talk about the rest in a sec. Using mythic shards, these can be very good when you complete armament competition. For example, they are really, really good. Know that for the exclusive mission 120 or 200%, it can only happen on Tuesday. It starts to appear on Tuesday of Alliance Mobilization. You cannot have them day one somehow. So day one you will have an armament competition to complete, which is with shards, with 0 shards. So if you want to use your exclusive mission, especially if you are Fire Crystal 1, 2, 3, and you struggle to complete at least 4 of these training troops on 120k a day, you might want to get some of these, with the polar terrors, on top, but you could want to get like some of these from the shard, because you see it's giving a lot of points, right? It's even giving more points. It's 980 compared to 860, sorry. A bit tired this evening, it's late recording this video. So it's a very good mission. So if you complete your armament competition, for example, that could be totally worth picking one of these missions as exclusive, especially when you are in the late, kind of late game. And same for me, if I could, it's better to complete my exclusive 200% with, these, and taking a regular mission that is shared with everyone for 430 points. Let me just show my mouse so it's maybe easier to follow. It may be easier to do it that way. It's, it's 120 points more in that case. So this can be done particularly on your Monday to Tuesday armament competition at the beginning of the week. Charms, I will barely ever do them unless you have an overlap with a seasonal event that do not allow for charms. So it's very rare. If you have an office, armament competition officer project you want to complete with charm eventually, but I would not suggest to do charms. They are not that good. They are very expensive for what it is. Fire crystals, you can only get them as exclusive mission 120%, and they appear, I think, starting day 3. So you cannot get them day 1 or 2, so you cannot complete your armament competition with that. So you can complete the second one, armament competition from Friday to Saturday. That's where you could use them. And then, again, if you are Fire Crystal 1 to 3, that could be a good alternative mission. For me, right now, I'm completing 6 to 7, 7 to 8-ish even, troop 120k power. I'm Fire Crystal 9 on my camps. I'm completing 6 to 7 a day in average of these. 5 to 6 maybe, but around 6 every day, and you want to go to push toward that if you can. At the beginning, you might do 1 or 2, and then when you get the hang of training that we'll cover in a sec, you might be able to do that. Construction speed-ups, overall, they are really bad unless you have a seasonal event and you're gonna burn a lot of research speed-up, like an Halloween event, for example, which won't overlap this time, but some other time it might overlap. You could go for like these ones. Understand that these 7,200 minutes, that's 5 days. So 3,600 minutes is 2.5 days. So these are crazy amount of speed up to use. So that's one of the other big mistakes people do, is they use they do these missions and they never complete them because it's so much speed ups. So do not get tricked by that. I put the 900 and the 1800 in green. It's really debatable. I would not really do that as exclusive. I could actually change that. I would not consider this as exclusive. You could do the 900 at the same time as you do, for example, Frosty Fortune. Sorry, my headset is having no battery anymore. So at the same time you do Frosty Fortune, you need to do 1000 minutes of speed-ups. Again, at that stage of the game, for me, Fire Crystal 10, it makes no sense. It gives so little points that I don't have enough missions to do that. But if you are, Fire Crystal 1 to 5, that could be one mission you can complete, and you don't take it as an exclusive mission. You just take it as a regular mission, and that's it. And you complete, you do 1000, which is 200 minutes. 200 times 5 minutes speed-ups, which is like 16 hours and 40 minutes, basically, and that's a bit less. Gems. You can do gems, you can use the 10k gems mission to refresh your VIP for 30 days, for example. I will, sometimes I'm using when there is a seasonal event, I'm completing 3, 4, 5, 6, how many mission about 50k gems to get points to get the month, like if we had in the Halloween event, if there was an overlap with Alliance Mobilization plus the Halloween event, which there is not because the gem day for Halloween is Sunday, so it's not gonna happen this time, but sometimes there is, and I will let you know in the seasonal event video I'm making every time I do. That could be very good, and that could be some of the missions you want to complete as 200%. You see, you won't get them as 120, and as you can see from here, many missions are not available in every percentages, right? So that the baseline on the left column, the 120%, many missions are not available, and quite a few more missions are available on the 200%. So gems, if you have extra, if there is an overlap, you can use. If you want to rank, you can do 1 or 2. But if you are free to play, it's gonna be really tough. You will want to keep your gems for a seasonal event, and there is not always an overlap with Alliance Mobilization. But if there is, it's really amazing. Packs, each time you buy packs, for most of it, you should consider, at least, I would not consider the exclusive mission. I will actually change a bit the color coding after the video that you will find on my Discord. I will make it a bit more granular. But overall, the regular packs are really good. And if you're a big spender, if you're a whale, you can consider the 200%, right? Or even even for the $50 or the $100, because they give a lot, and you can take the training from the regular mission at 430. These give so much points, so that's why you see some whales going crazy. They might complete, a 200% one, then they might complete 2 or 3 of these, so that's already 5k points in a day, plus they're gonna train troops that day, so they can make, 6, 7, 8k points in a day, and that's crazy. But, for free, even as a spender, I cannot do that, right? It's really hard to compete with that amount. Essence stones, you will rarely do them. Only if there is an overlap with an event, so like the second armament competition, something like that. Another seasonal event where you make points. So do your essence stone, but they give a decent amount of points for the use. I feel that charms is a lot more expensive to do, and you get a decent amount of essence stones with bear if you do your bear. So that's okay, but use like the light green, really use them when there is an overlap with another event. Don't really do them when there is no overlap. Same with the chief gear. But Essence Stone is giving a lot of points if you do 35 plus. The issue is like it could be a big waste when you are that far in the game like us, because for us it's gonna cost between 100 to 200 Essence Stones. And often if I use it on a armament competition or officer project, it gives me double or triple the points of the you need to do in the event to unlock all the rewards. So it's very much wasted. There is a lot of waste with using essence stones, and you don't really need it. If you know how to train, you don't really need it. So that's one way. That's kind of the task. That's the beginning of the event. And if you want to go here on my Discord, there are kind of summaries and what to do. The next stage, let's go back to the game. So what do you do every day with that? You have 4, if I remember, you have you start with a few missions, I guess 4 of them. Then you can get 1 free extra attempt every day, plus you can buy some. So the first 3 cost 50 gems each, which I bought already today. You see, I have 3 left of my daily purchase. So I bought the free one, of course. I got the free one. I bought the 3 for 50 gems, so that's 150 gems. And for me, I buy every day the 3 for 200 gems. So that's cost me 750 gems every day to get 6 more missions. It's because at that time of the day, at that time of the game, I'm doing 4 of these every day, so the 120k troops. Plus I'm doing 2-3 of these, so I'm doing up to 6-7 missions a day, like I said. Plus sometimes I will do some with packs and stuff. So that's, I'm starting with 4 missions, or maybe a bit more, and I get 7 a day. And I basically use 7 a day without pushing, just training troops the way I will explain later. So that's, you will want to buy at least extra 3 missions for 150 gems. I would suggest free to play to do that. If you are, a medium spender, of course, buy 3 more to 400-600 gems. The last 3 ones, they start to be really cost a lot. And they will cost you really a lot to get. So I would not suggest to buy them unless you are like a big spender and you have far too many gems. So even for a medium spender, unless you push and you really need the shard or something, but these are really expensive for what they are at that stage of the game. So buy your item daily, get at least 4 extra missions every day because you will do them. Now there are a few new things they added to the game, right? They added these packs and they are changing. So some are a bit better than the other ones. These could be great for medium to whales. If you're a bit lazy, if you don't have time and you still want to help your alliance or you want still to make points, these packs are not the worst. In terms of percentages, I would not do, the way it works, like when you buy these vouchers and the game give you what? 1 voucher, I think? Yeah, every time. So you get 1 here. Maybe you get a second one, right? For us, we get 2 vouchers every event. So, if you don't have time, if you're at work and you cannot refresh or you're unlucky, you can use the voucher and I can select the mission I want from all of these, right? So you can see the bad ones at the bottom and the best one usually at the top. But I can get the packs, and that's 120% because that's what left today, but it was a 200% mission. I will have the same choice. So, whales could basically, before they go on buying spree, they could spend 250 because they're gonna spend anyway, $100 in the game. They could buy 250 and they could do swap, and that's a new thing that they added a few months ago. So that's make whales life a lot easier. And you will get that one all the time if you buy the $100 pack, and that will make you crazy points. And if a whale is doing that, you cannot compete. You really cannot compete because you can get these. Here that's $100 pack as well. You can get them from here. So you see, if you buy $400, $500, $600 packs a day, that could be 10,000 points nearly in a day in Alliance Mobilization. So that's that. Then overall, you have the rewards. So you have the ranking for the Alliance. That you all know about that by now. If you watch the video, that's very straightforward. You should know about this part as well, and hopefully you are already in the legendary tier. It's quite easy to get. Something that is new, that the reward with the experts. So our friend Baldur is buffing that. And I got all you get in the chest now. We got all the information. So this one I got, which was 20 Fire Crystal, 20 Charms Guide. That's easy to get. This one is quite easy to get as well. You get 10 Essence Stones. That's not once a day, that's once an event. So that's every 4 weeks. So it's not crazy extra stats, but you still get a tiny bit more. Extra reward. So you get Essence Stone, you get XP component, and you get the last chest, which I cannot access, which is 30 Fire Crystal, and it's not Charm Guide, it's Charm Design. So you get 20 Charm Designs and 30 Fire Crystals, so you get the other one of the charms, and you get a bit more Fire Crystals. So that's for our friend Baldur, and which you see now for me is giving me 12% personal points, so that's really help you to make more points. So if you look at the experts, if you will likely have them. If you don't have them, experts are around middle of Gen 3. When you got the War Academy, it's middle of Gen 3. So if you don't have him now, you will have him later. So we got Baldur since Monday, and this one, the first skill, Blazing Sunrise, which is increasing the amount of points you do. So, 500 mission, it gives me 12% more, or it was 10%, it's a bit easier. It will give me 550, something like that. And you can get up to 20% more and up to the 3 chests, but that will be level 10. So that will take quite a while to go to level 10. But I rush him to level 6 because that was really convenient, to get to level 6. That's 12%, 2 chests. So that's, that's free reward every day. So that's really, really good. So that was for our friend Baldur. So the big chunk of Alliance Mobilization then for yourself is, maybe let's cover R4. We have 4 minutes, so let's cover R4 when these are available. But you see, basically the way it works is you want to refresh all of them at once. Because when the mission is, so here you can get the same mission. I've seen screenshots of people doing it. I never managed to do it myself, but you can get 200%. I do that all the time. 200% and 120, I can get the 120k troop training. I do that all the time. Some people manage to get 120k training on both 120%. I never manage myself, but I've seen people doing it somehow. So yeah, so you can do it. That's okay. But here, you cannot have double time, the 2 times the same mission available here. You can have people with the same mission multiple times. So there are some people that are telling you, if you take a mission, complete it instantly because it cannot appear again. That's bullcrap, because you can see we have 3 people with the 120k training power. And when you take the exclusive mission, it does not show here. I tested it with my farm. It does not show. The exclusive mission is not showing. So it has to be one of these. So you can see we got 3 times the same training mission, and we get 4 times the 120k. The 30k power for 120 points. So you can have duplicated mission. You don't have to complete your mission as soon as possible. But the way it works, you cannot see 2 missions of the same available at the same time. So you will want to refresh them all at the same time and just leave the one you want. So often we leave what? Polar Terror, 8 and 10, 5 and 10 Polar Terror. We leave one of the highest level gathering. We leave the packs because it's a seasonal event, so the spender gonna buy them. Sometimes you leave the gems. I tend not to anymore because people don't really use gems on Alliance Mobilization anymore, but at the beginning of the game people do a lot. So if you're in the fresher states, Gen 1, 2, 3, 4, you might want to leave the gems because much more people are using these to get their points. But that's it. You leave the packs, you leave the training, you leave the gathering. Like John is taking chief gear. Like what the F, John? Sorry for you, mate, but it makes no sense. So if you are Air 4 and if you have people that are taking 7,200 minutes speed ups, charms, chief gear, message them and ask them to get rid of the mission, because that's not the best stuff to do. That's really not good actually. So that's for the mission, that's for Air 4. So let's talk about training. That's really, really, really important. So I'll show you a tool now that you can use. That was made by Tamago. I'm not sure, it's a Chinese folk, I guess. And that one is very simple. Let me zoom in a tiny bit for you, and that's how you use it. And I put many examples on my Discord to avoid you doing that, but you will find a link in the description. The way you use it is you make a copy of it, right? The file, the Google Sheet you're gonna access is gonna be locked. So you won't be able to use it. So you go to File, which you don't really see here. Yeah, you see it. And you have make a copy here. So you make a copy and then you have, you own on your own Google Drive, and then you can use it. The way it works, you want to use your fire crystals. So for me, I'm fire crystal 9. So I'll put fire crystal 9. And I want to do Titan troops because during SVS, I want to promote. So I don't want to do 11, right? And they are not promoted. So I'm not promoting from T5. But if I was promoting from T5 to T11 to T10, I will do that, for example, right? So I'm promoting... my troops are FC9, T10, and I'm promoting them from Fire Crystal 5, from T5, sorry. So that's and I want to do the 120k points mission. That's the amount of troops I need per camp. But for me, it's not promoted. So you can see that per camps, it's, I do 350 myself because it's just simple that way. I remember the number. But I know if I do on the 3 camps, I can do 350. And if you look at my game right now, I'm training 350 on 3 camps. And when that's completing, that's 222k power for me. I could do 348, right? I could save 2 troops, basically. And that will complete me one of these missions. So the way it works for me at that stage of the game before I go to bed, because 350 times 3 is 1,050. So before I go to bed, I train 1,050 T10 on each camp. So when I log in the morning, I can complete 3 missions instantly. And that's only something you can do when you're at that stage of the game. Because for me, I can do 1 mission per camp. That's how you can do 6 or 7 a day very easily, because you do 3 while you sleep, and then you have to do 4 during the day. And as you can see, more or less, it takes me 3 hours to train, right? 3 hours and a half, depending if I get the title. So every 3 hours and a half, I can complete an extra mission. So that's how I wake up. I do 3 missions, and every 3 hours, you know, I sleep for more or less 8 hours. So that's giving me that's giving me a bit of a wiggle room, and that you can do that. But that's only when you start to be Fire Crystal 6, 7, you can start to do that easily. Before, you will need 2 camps, so you will need to use another strategy, and we will talk about that in a sec. If I were about to refresh, we'll do it quickly. I wait for all the missions to be here, and you see I'm removing all the bad one, removing the gems, leaving spender. So you see how it works. So you refresh. That's only Air Force and Air 5 that can do that. I'm leaving one of the gathering. I'm removing beasts. They're crap. I'm removing that as well. I tend to remove that one, 5 packs, unless they are like right now, like the seasonal event with a lot of $5 packs. So this one could be used for spender at reset, but it's very rare it's getting used. So you want to leave that one, 3 packs. 1 pack for like lower spenders, and the big ones for the big pack, $50 and $60, $100. So yeah, for training, if we look at it, so let's say I'm Fire Crystal 2, you see it's gonna be a lot tougher, right? I'm Fire Crystal 2, I have T10, so I need 527 per camp, so that's, you know, over 1,500 in 1 camp if I wanted to train overnight, and you won't have that capacity of training. So if you were Fire Crystal 2, you'll not be able to train in 1 camp. So, you know, you will have to adjust, but during the day, it's quite easy to do. You know, you can do 2 or 3 missions like that by training 527, and you can be like, you know, I'm Fire Crystal 1 on my 2 on my infantry, 2 on my lancers, and 3 on my marksmen, and you can adjust, right? And you know, you could do whatever you want as well. You can do like weird things if you wanted to. Let's say you want to promote more troops in SVA that are infantry because you want to use your speed ups on infantry, so you can train T9 on infantry, and you can train T9 on lancers and marksmen, and that's your Fire Crystal level, and still tell you how much troop you train per camps. So that tool is really important. If we go back on Discord, I've prepared some of it for you already. So you see, I kind of gathered all of the main data that you want, how much troops you need to train per camps and how many troops you need in total. Some of it are possible with if you train them before going to bed with the Minister of Education, right? So that's totally doable. That's something that are important. That's good to do. If you wanted to be more efficient and to make more points, you could promote. And the file that we just look at, the file is helping you with promotion, and you just need to say, let's say I want to promote for, you know, from FC8, all is T10, and I'm Fire Crystal 4, so the numbers are a bit different, so people can have a feel. You know, and because it's promoting, you will do that easily. You will really do that easily. So that file is really important. When you know your number, the only issue is like when you progress, you kind of forget how much you need. But for me, I'm not progressing anymore. I know it's 350 or 1,050 on my camps. I do that without thinking. That's how I can do 6 or 7 a day and make so much points. So that's about the training part, which is really, really important to get. And again, that should be 90% of your points. And I'm doing that every time, even with my farm. And with my farm, I'm doing this mission 3 times a day-ish, sometimes 4. But I'm just doing these missions 3 times a day. So I'm doing the 200 and I'm doing 220. And then sometimes I'm doing a Polar Terror when nobody else is taking it for a while. So I'm not trying to really push on my farm. And you see, I beat most people. And then you know, but again, if your game is new, it's a bit more competitive. In terms of rewards, what do you get? You get all of that, which, you know, most of it is unseen. One of the new things they added not too long ago now is you get Alliance token here. So for me, that you can imagine with 23k points, I got a crazy amount of Alliance tokens. I got 700k. I don't know what to buy anymore. I have too many Alliance tokens. Maybe I should buy a teleport. That's gonna use for Foundry, so maybe I can start to do that, because now we even get, you know, with Baldur we get more points from the Alliance. From that you get a buff on the chest here. 52% from the chest. Plus they added points everywhere. So that's fairly good. You will be able to buy whatever you want in your Alliance shop by doing that, which is actually really, really good. More if you're a Supreme President. So before I go to bed, I will try to get these titles. So that's really make sure, you know, I get these 7 missions a day. If I do that, and during the day, I will regularly train with one of the titles. again, after a year, most people don't use this title anymore, so they are fairly easy to get. It might be a bit tough on more active state, but for us, you see, sometimes there is a queue, sometimes there is not. So I see that I have 1 hour and 25 minutes, so it's a bit too soon. Because I will train one more time before I go to bed, so I will want to make sure I have it. So I'll check again in 15 minutes, half an hour, to see if there is a bit of a queue or not. That's gonna be all okay, but that's really important, and that's a little trick that will really help you to squeeze that. And I find overall that between the rewards that we did not talk about yet, but we'll talk about it in a sec, they are here, the individual rewards, right? That they depend on your league, right? So the higher you are, the better rewards you have. And it's the same for these ones. These ones, you have more tier and you have better rewards the higher your league is. So you need to be in an alliance that is one of the top, ultimate, whatever they call it, a legendary tier, right? And you start here and you should basically, if you're in a good alliance, you should more or less climb every time. Maybe here you do not manage to climb the first time, but it's gonna take you 4 or 5 events to get at the top, 5, 6 events, and then you should stay here, no problem, right? That's really easy to stay here if you're in an active alliance. If you are not, is that your alliance is not active. And we lost a lot of activity ourselves lately, and you see we are like, there are 20 and only the top 3 are going down. So yeah, so we are not doing crazy good, but we are far from going from going down, because you see like the last alliances, they are like half dead, like they probably are dying from transfers or something, and there are always some of these alliances. But you see, we are not too far from these guys. And the top, they are double the points, more or less. So that's kind of judging. But the reward, the individual rewards are good. That's some gems, some speed up, some shards. So right now in the game, there are many, many sources of shards. In Gen, in Fire Crystal 10, in Gen 8, I'm VIP 12, so I got a lot. But at the beginning, these are really important, and you will see spenders fighting for these because they will be lacking many. But after Gen 4, 5, these are a lot more relaxed. The spenders do not need the shards as much, so they're not gonna push for it. The Alliance reward, you're gonna get something between first and fourth. It's half, but it's very little amount. So at the end of the day, it's not very stressful. You should not stress your alliance to be first in Alliance Mobilization. It's not that, it's not really worth it. But what you should do is really teach people how to complete 2, 3, 4, 5 of these missions a day, up to 6, 7. And not everyone can do 6, 7 because it takes a lot of time refreshing. But, with these, with a bit of care, you can do 2, 3, 4 most days. And I really believe that many people can do that. You could be one of them, particularly if you watch my videos, because it will carry your alliance. It will get, you will get more of these for yourself. You will get more of these for your alliance. And that's these ones, if you have a 80 people alliance, it's times 100 or times 80, right? So if you go from 6 shards to 10 shards, that's an extra 4 shards, but times 80 people, so that's 320 shards. It is a lot, but it's still better. It's still three clicks on SVS that your alliance can do, and that's a bit more points, that's a bit more gems overall. So it's not a bad thing. So that's really it. So in the description of that video, I'll give you a link to my Discord that is always there. I'll give you a link as well to the calculator for the training troop, which is really specific to Alliance Mobilization. You go to File, you make a copy, you need a Google account. It's a Google Sheet. That's just the way it works. And you will be able to use it. And you can note down on a little post-it or on your phone in a note, the amount you need to train. You will get the hang of it, but for me, it's very, very straightforward. It's 350 every time. And then when I promote to FC10, I'll just need to learn. Now, what's messy is when you start to have T11s and, T11 Fire Crystal 9 or 10 and T10 Fire Crystal 8. Like these things are very different amounts of troops. And in your in between, you will need to kind of work out the details yourself. There is no, the spreadsheet will help you a bit. But it's not always that simple to find the exact right amount and the exact training times. But that's, if you are there, you are probably playing the game quite a bit and you are used to solve such problems by yourself. But the calculator will really help you to figure that out. But that's it for today. That's it for the Alliance Mobilization. That's the updated guide with all they added to the game. Hopefully it was helpful. Let me know in the comments if I covered anything, if I missed actually anything, or if you wanted me to cover anything else. Good luck, rank well. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and consider joining the Discord, consider subscribing as usual. Thank you very much for your support. Bye-bye. Something to do to train better is, if you're on a state that is quite old, you will see that not that many people are taking Minister of Education. If it's a training day, it's gonna really hard to get, or Vice President, because that's 10% training and that's 50% training, right? And that could be